Hello everyone, I hope that you're doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Boom Shakha and I welcome you to my channel. As you can see, the colors are changing behind me. I think you can see there's a little bit of red, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of green. It's just the beginning. It's going to be all so beautiful. I love fall. I've already said this a billion times. It's such a beautiful season. And being in the tropics, it's very hard because there's no fall there really. Obviously the colors don't change and all that. So it's nice to be in Canada during this beautiful time. In this video, I want to speak to you about protecting your heart and your physical space, and particularly about personal space and touch. Recently, an individual commented on the channel saying something like, I have a really hard time even hugging people who are really close to me, even my own friends or family members, people that I know and trust. I still have a very hard time hugging them or showing any kind of physical affection to them because I'm afraid. Now, I thought it was kind of interesting because I understand as an INFJ or as an empath or a highly sensitive person that you might be in a situation where you are apprehensive of intermingling your energies and your physical space or your aura with someone else that you might not trust, right? So strangers off the street or random people that you don't know what they're like, just people that you meet in social events, things like that. So I can understand, I've spoken about it previously where I step back away from people when I don't know them and they go in to give me a hug and I'm like, I'm sorry, but I don't know who you are and I'm not hugging you if I don't know where you've been and what kind of energy you have. So that makes sense to me. But I was a little bit confused because obviously this person said that I trust these people. They're in my group. They're my loved ones. They're my family members. Not that I'm saying you have to necessarily trust family, but this person did trust these people, but they still had a hard time with personal touch, with the giving into the personal space, giving them space or the permission to come into their personal space by giving them a hug. And I kind of started thinking about it, and I've had this situation myself as well when I was younger, and I think it comes from the misguided idea we have as individuals that a person can harm us if we allow them into our space. Now, I'm not saying necessarily that energy is not powerful and that it can't harm us. There are people out there, narcissistic people, toxic, extremely toxic energy people who can even just come into your space, not even into your personal space, but just nearby you, and instantaneously can drain you of your energy or can put you into a funk. So I get it. I understand what you're saying. It's not necessarily that it's not possible, but what I want to say is that it is only possible if you allow it to happen or you let it happen by staying in that space. There's many different ways to deal with these situations. First of all, it's the idea that we are strong enough, as empaths even, as highly sensitive people, that if someone even does come into our space and they are negative, that we have the ability as individuals with our strength and our power and our physical and energetic strength to be like, no, yes, that energy is coming towards me, but no, I'm not going to let it into my space. And I have the ability to create a sort of energetic shield around me. So that is absolutely possible, right? And that we do that all the time, perhaps unconsciously, but it is possible for us to do that. So it doesn't necessarily mean that just because there is negative energy around us that it needs to come into our space or into our aura or into us. So it is possible for us to be like, no, it's not happening. I'm going to put a shield around me. And I've spoken about this before previously, how you can actually just kind of put your hand against your heart so you can actually protect it physically by actually putting your physical body or your hand against your heart, or on top of your heart. Or you can literally kind of hunch over, which a lot of people do, but of course that doesn't really look particularly nice or feel particularly nice. Or you can just walk away from the situation, obviously. Or you can put headphones on, or with some really good pumped up music that you love. Or you can start reading a book and you can kind of just dissociate yourself from that situation so you don't get affected by it. So there's many ways to deal with it, but the main point of all of this is that just because it's there doesn't mean that it'll affect you. Now, this is particularly to speak about negative energy that's in the atmosphere, negative energy that's around you. But secondly, what I wanted to say is that just because it's coming at you doesn't mean that it can harm you, which means that you can even still, perhaps you're not fast enough. And the energy, the bad energy, the negative energy was able to get into your physical space and was able to get into your aura. Again, it doesn't mean that it'll still harm you. Have the capability and the capacity and the strength, unless you're completely depleted and you've completely not taken care of yourself. And that's another story. So that means that you have to start taking care of yourself and not depleting yourself in that manner. But if you are not completely depleted, then there is a possibility that even if it comes into your aura, even if you are affected by that negative energy, that it doesn't negatively or adversely affect you. So yeah, it's near you, it's inside of you, you can feel the ickiness, you can feel the sliminess kind of getting at you. But if you're strong enough in your physicality, if you're strong enough in your physical body, that you've been sleeping properly, eating properly, drinking enough water, taking care of yourself, doing self-care routines, you'll notice that even if the negative energy comes at you, you can be like, yeah, okay, I feel it, it doesn't feel good, but it hasn't completely depleted me, it hasn't completely taken me out, right? And you can kind of do some self-cleansing routines. Usually what I do is I take a shower. It's a really good way of getting rid of any kind of negative energy that's attached itself to you. And I do this a lot when, I come from some situation where I'm like, I just feel off. I don't know why I feel off, but I feel off. I'll just go take a shower, quick. It doesn't have to be very like a long, elaborate thing. A quick shower, and the water will just take it out of your system and take it away, take the negative ions away. Or the negative energy away, right? And so it's very easy for us to be like, if we are taking care of ourselves, to be like, yeah, I got it. You're coming at me and I see you coming, the negative energy, or I see that you've attached yourself to me already. Wow, that was quick. But it doesn't mean that necessarily that affects me negatively. I'm still strong enough to be like, all right, I can deal with it. I'm going to go take a walk, or I'm going to go listen to really good music, or I'm going to take a shower, or I'm going to get a massage, or I'm going to do something that I don't get affected by that negative energy, right? And so yeah, it's affected you. It's already like, I can see it. It's attached itself to me, but I can't do anything about it. No, you can actually do something about it, and you can rejuvenate yourself. It's not necessarily that it's the end of it and you're done. That is not the point of it. Okay? The final thing that I wanted to say is that if it's a person that you know and trust and love, then you letting them into your personal space is not going to affect you adversely, especially because it is your not responsibility, but it is, you are giving them permission to come into your space, and you have the ability or capability to either let their energy affect you or not, right? It is still possible to hug someone and keep your heart closed off. It is still possible to hug someone or to let someone into your personal space and keep your body contained and protected, physically, energetically, however you want to look at it. There's a lot of times when I'm in situations, especially when I'm in Chiang Mai, people like to hug there a lot. And a lot of times I'm just like, all right, fine, I'll just do it. But what happens in those situations is that I'm going in to hug these individuals, whoever they might be. It doesn't really matter to me. I don't know if they're negative or positive or not, but I go in to hug these people and they're coming in, and I instantaneously in that moment of time strengthen my boundaries. I strengthen my energetic boundaries. I strengthen myself so that I know that if they do come in and they have any kind of negative energy associated with them or attached to them, that even if I get it on top of me, even if it touches me, it won't affect me because I'm protected. I'm energetically protecting myself. I'm energetically protecting myself. And it's something that it's a tweak. It's just a mental tweak. It's something that you just have to do and learn how to do it. But it's very easy for you probably to manipulate energy in a lot of different other ways. You just have to realize that you can manipulate energy not only in other ways, but also in order to protect yourself. It's like a shield. It's basically, if you kind of look at it in that manner, I always look at it and I think, wow, I have like this basic physical but energetic field around me. And it feels very protective, and it feels very nurturing, and it feels like I can go into any situation and I won't be affected by it because I'm protected. I have this shield around me. And sometimes, I kind of think of it in my head like, shields up, and I don't know where it's from exactly, but you can kind of think of it as like when Superman or Batman, I don't know, any kind of superhero is going into a shit situation and it's actually coming from Star Trek. Yeah, shields up, right? And so, you're going into a battle mode and you have to put your shields up. It's exactly how you have to do it as an empath. We're putting our shields up. Doesn't necessarily mean that we can't allow the person to our space. Doesn't necessarily mean that we can't give them a hug. It's not going to affect us. Our shields are up. our energetic shields are up. And so I wanted to do this video because I wanted people to, especially empaths and HSPs, highly sensitive people, not to begin thinking that, okay, now their life is completely ended. It's like, all right, I'm done with human beings in general. I can never go out again. I'm an empath. I get affected negatively by energy. I just have to stay in my room forever and ever and ever. It's nice to be in your room, but not to say that, okay, I'm never going to speak to my loved ones either, or I'm never going to hug them. Hugging is a huge form of communication, and it's a great way for us to get a lot of good hormones into our body. So if you're never going to hug someone, that's actually a negative adverse effect on you, not that person, but you. And so I really wanted to do this video, so hopefully to kind of explain to you that you have the power. You can protect yourself. You don't need to worry about all this stuff. It's actually, a lot of it's meaningless, and I think we make a bigger deal out of it than it actually is, right? No matter how sensitive you are, no matter how much of an empath you are, you have the capability to protect yourself using your energetic shields. Just shields up. Make sure that your shields are up rather than out. Okay? I hope this makes sense. If you need more of a detailed view of energetic shields and things like that, please comment below and I shall do a follow-up video. But I think it's pretty straightforward. If you've dealt with energy at all, you'll be able to put your shields up very easily, no problem. Okay? If you have questions, comment below and I shall see you in the next video. Bye for now.